This mom had her underage boyfriend babysit her little girl, and the little girl is fighting for her life as a result. This is not an Arkansas case, but I actually saw it on my F book. It was reposted by Arkansas Justice Project, so I read it from there. If you don't follow them, you should. This actually happened in Indiana and was posted by the Evansville Police Department. It says news released June 14th, 2024. 4-year-old found unresponsive leads to 2 arrests and multiple charges. This morning around 9 a.m., officers were dispatched to the 4500 block of Spring Valley Road for a medical emergency reference a female not breathing. I think that's supposed to be referencing. The reporter stated she found her roommate's 4-year-old daughter unresponsive and quote unquote beyond help in the apartment. The arriving officer found the child to be cold to the touch. The Evansville Fire Department began working to revive the child. She was transported to the hospital, and at this time, she is still alive, but has very little brain activity. The mother, Destiny F. Rhodes, who is 23 years old, was at work when her daughter was found and returned to the apartment. Rhodes' 16-year-old boyfriend was located inside the apartment along with 3 other adult females who reside there. All 4 adult residents were transported to EPD headquarters and interviewed by detectives. The 16-year-old was not interviewed due to his age. Detectives uncovered details of incidents involving Rhodes and her juvenile boyfriend since they arrived in Evansville together earlier this year. In February, officers located the 16-year-old juvenile male who was 15 at the time after he was reported missing from Fort Wayne, Indiana. Due to a missing persons case being a status offense, officers placed him at Hillcrest Youth Home. He fled the building shortly after. Officers located him again, this time in the company of Rhodes at her residence. He was placed at the Youth Care Center, YCC, and eventually transported back to Fort Wayne. Rhodes was arrested for contributing to delinquency of a minor, a level 4 felony at the time. When she was released from jail, she returned to Fort Wayne until her pending court date around April 11th. Her 16-year-old boyfriend went missing again around the time she returned to Evansville for court. While interviewing Rhodes, she stated she went to work around 7 a.m. and reported that her daughter was asleep at that time. A roommate stated that she noticed the child had bruises on her body yesterday, specifically around her neck area. She also had a human bite mark on her forearm. Detectives were told the 16-year-old boyfriend admitted he bit the child, but only after she bit him first. A roommate reported that the child seemed to be staring off and was nauseous while in Rhodes' care last night. All 3 of these circumstances went unreported to law enforcement or medical staff during their occurrence. Rhodes has been arrested on the following charges and booked into the Vanderburgh County Detention Center: neglect of a dependent, which is a felony, contributing to the delinquency of a minor is a misdemeanor, and invasion of privacy, also a misdemeanor. The juvenile male has been arrested on the following charges and booked in at YCC, which is that youth facility. He was charged with battery, serious bodily injury, which is a felony, and also public administration false informing, which is a misdemeanor. This is a disturbing case that could lead to the death of a 4-year-old and additional felony charges. Should the arresting offenses change and the juvenile male is waived to adult court, his name will be released at that time. The detectives that comprise EPD's juvenile unit and adult investigations unit detectives worked diligently today on these 2 arrests. So, of course, first and foremost, I want to say that I will be keeping the 4-year-old in my thoughts and prayers. Hopefully something does change and she starts to show more brain activity and pull out of this. Unfortunately, it doesn't sound good, but anything could happen. Also, and I don't want to blame the mom. I mean, yes, I do. I want to blame this mom because this mom had a 16-year-old little boy that she was dating, but she's 23 years old. And she had this 16-year-old little boy watching her child. And not only that, but she's like dragging this child around. It seems from the information that I just read, she's dragging the kid around from, one part of Indiana to another part of Indiana. And I know nothing about Indiana, so I don't know how far the distance is, but you're dragging a 4-year-old around and also have this 4-year-old living with 3 other adults. And I mean, it doesn't specify that the adults were related in any way to this woman. So I kind of think that they're not. Also, these 3 other adults, none of the 4 adults in this household decided that they should put this child first in any kind of way. And that is very disappointing. And I think that they should all probably face some charges.